Well, I think it found me. My dad showed me about the mechanics of a bike. He took me to a bike shop, and it was Bob's Bike Shop.
In 1973, Bob Miller founded a small neighborhood bike shop in Indian Harbor Beach, Florida. When the business wasn't what he thought it would be, Bob and his family decided to sell the struggling store. Bill Armstrong, a patron of the shop, acquired Bob's in 1978, a decision that would shape the rest of Bill's future and garner a friendship that would last a lifetime.
Funny thing, Rod worked at Bob's, working, before he was actually old enough to have a job legally in the state of Florida.
I started hanging around there more and more as a customer, and I met Bill Armstrong.
Bill was shaping a young life into what would later be his life's work.
And they got sick of me hanging around, so they put me to work. And so I just started sweeping floors, and then I saw bikes and repair stands, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, the bike's up in the air, I get to see the bike, you know, touch it and look under it and mess with it. They started teaching me how to fix flats and stuff like that.
So when I met Rod, he was the manager of Bob's and had been here since he was 13. Bill was still the owner of the store.
After my senior year in high school, Bill gave me a partnership, just as saying, hey, thank you for putting in all your time. Here's a percentage of the business as a gift. And I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Rod always refers to it as a father-son relationship.
The relationship between Rod and Bill was very unique, very special, very strong, because you had the two different levels, ownership and mentoring, business sense, the book side of things, the customer side of things, and so it was quite unique. They worked together but separate, but they always knew they had each other's back. Because at the end of the day, they agreed and moved forward. What was the best for the shop?
Bill often referred to Rod as his de facto son, and while they may have had differences of opinion, they always worked it out.
So their friction worked for them, but watching it, you would think that they were on the verge of not speaking for a while, but that was kind of how they worked through things. They had their arguments, and then they came back together, and then they had arguments, and they solved the problem.
So as time went on, I found myself not going anywhere in the business. Bill and I didn't get along very well. At times we would punch each other out and fire each other, but he'd hire me back. One thing I learned watching Bill was to always take care of your customers, no matter what. If you're a customer, he would give you the red carpet treatment. He'd always would go beyond the call of duty.
Rod was in school, taking some classes, thinking about what he wanted to do for the future, whether to stay at Bob's or branch out.
I said to him one day that I was going to leave the business, and I had gotten a job with offer at UPS, and I was going to go back to school full time. And then Bill said, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and sell the business. So basically 3 days later, I had thought about it and made him an offer and said, well, I just buy you out. The 2004-2005 hurricanes was a complete eye-opener for us. Not just the building being destroyed, but my house as well. As I had 2 babies and I needed to get the house livable. At the same time, I realized that I needed to get better control of the business. After the hurricanes, the tension between Bill and I was at an all-time high. Bill and I realized we needed to expand the store, and the way to do that was to open up another location, which was Bob's Beach Bicycle Works. With 2 stores, Bill could run Bob's Beach Bicycle Works while I could stay in the main location. The space allowed our relationship to breathe and also allowed the shop to expand and flourish.
Bill was always like Rod's mentor. You know, the bicycle business, the athleticism, you know, the training aspects, you know, the whole picture of cycling and business as one.
I said, Bill, here's percentage back that you gave me. I'm going to give you that percentage back because you did a lot for me, and I'm going to return that gift to keep him in the business.
Then all of a sudden, no warning, nothing. You thought, I just get goosebumps thinking about it.
The Corvette incident.
It's hard to imagine the force of that car when it hit us.
I got a call from Bill one afternoon. He said, "Come down to the shop." And I said, "What for?" And he said, "A Corvette drove through the wall."
It was just no noise because, you know, the solid block building. Next thing you know, wham, and there was a Corvette in the middle of the room. So here's the car, here's the wrecker pulling the car out of the building. And I said, "Hey Rod, looks like we're going to do the renovation a little earlier than we had planned on." And that's how we kind of ended the afternoon. Then it was back to business. We had to secure the building because of fire codes and property and so on and so forth. And then fast forward, you know, a couple years because of the insurance and this and that and everything else, and then the reconstruction efforts was phenomenal. And so when Bill started to get sick and he wasn't as active as he was, you could tell Rod was really concerned for him because he wasn't able to do what Bill liked to do, which is ride his bike.
Bill started having problems with his stomach, and we later found out that he had pancreatic cancer, and Bill didn't think he had very long to live, and that was kind of an eye-opener for us. We found out that he had a very rare form of pancreatic cancer that was a slow mover.
He was diagnosed about 10 years before his death, and he had told us, Bill had told us, that his doctor informed him that, "Don't worry, with treatment, this is the slowest growing tumor known to medical science. Something else will kill you long before this does." And for about 8 or 9 years, he did very well with it. He was on regular medication, and it didn't seem to affect him too badly. He would have little medical issues here and there. For about the last year of his life, we could tell something was going on. And as the months went by, Rod and I talked. Rod was very concerned, as was I, and we felt like we weren't getting the whole story from Bill.
And because of the relationship, it's like Bill took Rod to all the BMX races when he was a kid. That was something they did together. And typically you think, you know, your parents are there for all that stuff, but for Rod, that was Bill.
At the end of that last summer, he had some elective surgery. And after that, things seemed to progress very, very quickly. He was making more and more visits to the emergency room. He was being admitted to the hospital more. And it turned out the cancer had gotten into his brain. And one day I am signing paperwork for his, to be his healthcare surrogate. And the next day I was signing him into hospice care.
William Bill Armstrong lost his battle with cancer on November 25, 2014, at the age of 59. Bill was an accountant, business owner, mentor, and dear friend. His love for cycling and legacy of taking care of his friends and customers like family lives on through Bob's Bicycle Shop.
The blue ribbon ceremony of the new Bob's was quite something else.
When the store was redone and Bill was here for that grand reopening, to him it was huge, and it was a big deal for Rod that Bill had been here to see all that.
And the grand opening was unbelievable. All new bikes, the showroom was beautiful.
Since the accident, Bob's Bicycle Shop has been revitalized. Has great inventory, it's a great experience.
Selection went way up, the service increased, he brought in more staff.
During the reconstruction of the bike shop, we thought about the environment and how we need to try to be more green, and we've went with the latest codes on windows and insulation, and of course we're going to go with solar panels to help power the store.
I do believe Rod is carrying on Bill's legacy, but it's not just Bill's legacy, it's Rod's as well, because he added so much. Bill provided the groundwork, the foundation, and the premise of excellence in workmanship, excellence in customer service, and Rod has expounded on that, and he has made sure, in fact, he promised that that would continue.
It's those things that allow Bill to live on through the store. I also think Rod has put different things around the store in memory of Bill, so it's important for him to keep Bill's memory alive by showing parts of Bill's life that took place during the time that he was here.
Bob's is the result of the best of both of them.
So Bob's is here for the long haul. We're here to take care of your needs, no matter what it is, and you know, Bob's has been here for 48 years, and you'll probably see us for another 48 years as well.
Rod and Sarah, best wishes on your wedding day. I hope you have many years of happiness, decent kids, and Sarah, I'd like to thank you for keeping Rod away from the buffet before the guests had a chance to eat. Good luck to you.